Hey, welcome back to the most innovative channel on shipping containers on YouTube. We've got this triple 40-foot man cave slash big workshop finally done. We've got them mated together. And so I want to take a look at this before it leaves to the customer and gets delivered. But I'm pretty excited about this. It turned out really cool. It's just one of many things you can do with containers. It proves the economic viability of containers among many other things, but our process is, quality, build them nice, but keep everything cost effective. And so I think we accomplished that. And so I'm excited to show you the inside with all these together. And so let's flip around and take a look at this thing. So you can see, just starting from the front, we've got two 16-foot by 7-foot garage doors. This is a really popular modification for us because putting a garage door on the side of the container in many cases is more cost effective than buying an open side container. And 16 feet really gives you a lot of space to come in. So this is a legit car, garage, shop. Once you get two or three of these stacked together with a big garage door, you've got some really usable storage space. So, and as I've mentioned before, you can get in the end of the container and get out of your car, but it's pretty tight. And if it's a big truck or something, it's really tight. So we like to always keep all the doors at the same end, just for uniformity. And you can see up here where we've got our I-beams for where we cut the entire wall out of the container. And when we go inside, I'll show you a little bit more of that. So we've got the two 16-foot doors here. I've kind of mentioned this previously, but you could go with an 8-foot tall door, but that's going to put your garage track for the door to go back about a foot into the next container. And since containers, which is not that big a deal, but since containers are already 8 feet wide, beyond 8 feet 6 inches, you are a wide load. You have to get permits. And so it makes for shipping to be a little bit more complicated. So we like to be a legal load, so to speak, if we can. These are your, what I would call just plain Jane garage doors, the stamped squares on them. They do make a flush panel garage door or insulated. The flush panel look pretty cool, but they're quite a bit more money in most cases, or quite a bit more money as in 50% more, and sometimes that's just a few $100, but these doors for most people are just fine. So as we walk around the other side here, the other thing I like that this customer did was put a walk door on here. So if you're going to be going in and out of the container a lot, the walk door is just really nice to have. You don't want to be fighting those container doors in the end every time you're trying to go in and out. Now, I will say with a new container, the indoors do open pretty easily, but a walk door is way easier. So let's go take a look inside here. So here we go. We've got the golf cart in here. And as you can see, this is a 36 by 80 walk door. Now, these are not bolted together, but they're just butted up. And they're not all the way. So you can see how you've got a small gap. So we're going to come together about another 1/4 inch. And that leaves about an 1/8 inch or 3/16 of a gap. And so all that's sealed on the sides, and then we use some trim to seal the bottom. So I will go ahead and open this garage door. So the only thing we've got missing now are the slide locks for the garage door. On 16-foot doors, we like to use 2 slide locks because it can get a little tipsy. And we like these to bite down pretty hard to make sure that seal on the bottom seals all the way out. Now, if these, in an ideal world, your containers would be leaning on ground graded away so that when it rains, the water is going to run away. But a lot of times these are level or maybe tilted back. And so you don't want water coming in under that garage door. Let me open this. Looks like they've got pliers on both ends. So if this door is adjusted right, it should come up with just a little bit of lift, and it did. So the garage door is not hot or cold. Hot is where it flies up. Cold is where you got to put a lot of lift into it to get it up. So that's your 16-foot door, and you can see here if you had a 8-foot tall door, you've got to have some margin for your door to come back, because sometimes it comes back and then stops. And so if you had an 8-foot door, you'd have a track over here about another foot. So it's doable, or you could add the track after it's delivered and so on. So these aren't butted all the way up, but as you can see here, you get over to the corner, you get an idea of the amount of space in here. And since containers are built so heavy duty, this shop, I'm going to call it a shop, the sidewalls, the floor, everything are so much heavier duty than you'd get for a warehouse this price. I mean, so if you build a warehouse for this cost, if you could, the metal is going to be a very thin, 20, 22 gauge metal, and very thin purlins and everything for the studs. And then if you bump costs up, of course, you can get a red iron building with thicker sidewalls. But this is also modular and it's portable. So once you build it, you can always move it. And so that's just can't be understated. It's a huge advantage with containers is the portability. And in that portability is, if you don't anchor these down, most jurisdictions don't property tax them because they're considered mobile storage. So there's a lot of advantages to this, but if you want a building like this, you're looking at maybe 2 weeks to get it done and delivered. So our tow truck drivers are going to pick up each container at a time. They're going to go to the site where this is going, and then they'll have a bobcat, and we have shipping container wheels that clip on here. And so they'll get all these moved into position, and once you get them close, you get your bolts in the holes, and you get about an inch longer bolt than you need, and then you use grade 8 hardware. Can't use grade 5, they will break, we've tried it. Grade 8 hardware, and you can cinch these containers the last inch just with the hardware. So that's kind of how we get them butted up on the very last step. And as I said earlier, you've still got all of your doors on the end for access. And so you can come in here with skid steers, tractors, trucks, bigger equipment. Anything that can't fit through those doors can come through the side doors. And this could be anything you want. This could be a hangout room. It could be a shop. You could insulate it. If you don't insulate it, you could put a couple of solar panels on top. For power, you could have a lithium battery in here. You could run conduit, and you could have power for charging batteries, running TVs everywhere in here. So the possibilities are absolutely endless. So I'm really excited we got to build this for the customer. It's something I've been wanting to do for a while. We do a lot of 20-footers and cut the sidewalls out, but this 40-footer really took it to another level. And one more thing I want to mention, especially if you're in colder areas, is snow. So if you get snow on the ceiling, it's about 45 pounds per cubic foot. So you really need to take that into consideration. And even with a center post in here, the roof is still really floppy if you take out all the corrugation. So you need to put a truss or I-beam on top. Your other cost-effective option would be leave 6 inches of corrugation and then run a 2 by 2 inch, quarter-inch wall tube on the bottom. And that essentially makes you a little I-beam. Now that would decrease your ceiling height, but that makes a nice little cheap I-beam sort of almost for free or more cost effectively. So on this build, I opted for the I-beams. Like I said, this turned out really nice. Can't wait to get it delivered. The customer loves it. If you have any questions, drop those in the comments, and please like and share. And we'll have a couple more on this build as it gets delivered. Thanks for watching. So in conclusion, I think this shop turned out awesome. I appreciate you guys watching. Follow our channel for more projects like this. If you have any questions, comments, ideas, I love to hear ideas. I love being innovative, thinking of new stuff, doing things outside the box. Let me know. I'm all ears. And if we use one of your ideas, we'll be sure to give credit. So let me know what you guys think of this shop. And have a great weekend.